Another day, another story. Tokyo, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.4 hit southern Japan late on April 17, said the Japan Meteorological Agency, without issuing a tsunami warning. The epicenter was the Bungo Channel, a strait separating the Japanese islands of Kyushu and Shikoku, the agency said. Ehime and Kochi prefectures were hit by the quake with an intensity of 6 on Japan's 1 to 7 scale, the JMA said. Some water pipes burst, but no major damage has been reported, local media said. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Shikoku Electric powers Ikata nuclear plant in Ehime Prefecture, where one reactor is in operation, reported no irregularities, Japan's government spokesperson Yoshimasa Hayashi told reporters. Mr. Hayashi also warned of a chance of other earthquakes with lower 6 on the Japanese seismic scale. Japan accounts for about 1/5 of the world's earthquakes of magnitude 6 or greater. On March 11, 2011, the northeast coast was struck by a magnitude 9 earthquake, the strongest in Japan on record, and a massive tsunami. Those events triggered the world's worst nuclear crisis since Chernobyl a quarter of a century earlier. When the Earth stirs. Synopsis. The story follows the lives of several characters from different backgrounds as their lives intersect following a major earthquake in southern Japan's Ehime and Kochi prefectures. Through their experiences, the story explores themes of resilience, community, and the human spirit in the face of natural disasters. Characters. Hiroko, a seasoned earthquake engineer based in Ehime, who has been advocating for stricter building codes and has designed earthquake-resistant structures. The earthquake tests her innovations. Kenji, a young teacher in Kochi who is at school when the earthquake strikes. He must lead his students to safety, navigating damaged infrastructure and aftershocks. Ayumi, a nurse who works at a local hospital that is overwhelmed with casualties. She grapples with personal loss while managing her professional responsibilities. Takashi, an elderly man who relies on traditional knowledge and community ties to help his neighborhood recover, offering a contrast to technological solutions. Sakura, a journalist from Tokyo who travels to the affected areas to cover the story of the earthquake and its aftermath, finding her own perceptions of disaster and recovery challenged. Plot outline. Act 1. The earthquake strikes without warning in the early afternoon. Scenes of initial chaos are described as characters react in real time. Hiroko feels the tremor at her office, Kenji protects his students under desks, Ayumi braces as hospital equipment shakes, Takashi steadies himself at home, and Sakura hears the news in Tokyo. Act 2. Immediate response. Each character uses their skills to manage the situation. Hiroko inspects structural damages, Kenji organizes a safe evacuation to emergency shelters, Ayumi triages injured patients, and Takashi gathers neighbors to set up a community kitchen. Sakura arrives, documenting the devastation and the initial responses. Act 3. Recovery and reflection. As the immediate danger subsides, deeper emotional and societal issues surface. Hiroko sees some success but also failures in her designs. Kenji deals with traumatized children. Ayumi faces the toll of continuous work. Takashi finds joy in small victories through community solidarity. Sakura's reports bring national attention and aid, but she struggles with telling a story that respects the victims' experiences. Conclusion. The community starts to rebuild, showing signs of adaptation and resilience. Hiroko pushes for updated building codes. Kenji sees a former student inspired to become a crisis manager. Ayumi volunteers for disaster response training. Takashi's community efforts turn into a formal neighborhood association. Sakura publishes a deeply moving series of articles that win her accolades but more importantly, affect real change in how such disasters are reported. Themes. Resilience and recovery, how individuals and communities recover from trauma and rebuild. Technology versus tradition, the balance between modern solutions and traditional wisdom in managing disasters. Community and isolation, how disasters can pull people together or push them apart. The role of media, Ethical storytelling in times of crisis. Building on the initial story idea set in the aftermath of an earthquake in Ehime and Kochi prefectures, here are more expanded elements and subplots that can enrich the narrative and provide further depth to the story when the earth stirs. Expanded subplots. Hiroko's professional journey. Delve deeper into Hiroko's career as an earthquake engineer, exploring her motivations driven by a past personal loss during a previous quake. Showcase her journey of developing a groundbreaking, earthquake-resistant technology and the bureaucratic and financial hurdles she faces in implementing it. This subplot could also explore the conflict between profit-driven construction companies and Hiroko's mission for safety-focused designs. Kenji's personal growth. Kenji could be portrayed as someone who was initially skeptical about the importance of disaster preparedness. His transformation into a responsible figure who saves lives during the earthquake serves as a pivotal character development. Additionally, a backstory involving a strained relationship with his own family, who are also affected by the quake, adds emotional depth and a personal stake in his actions. Ayumi's conflict of duty. Ayumi's subplot could explore the intense emotional and physical toll on healthcare workers post-disaster. Include a storyline where she must make tough decisions about resource allocation when supplies dwindle, and how she deals with the ethical dilemmas of prioritizing patients when all are equally in need. This can also introduce a romantic element where her partner is also a first responder dealing with his own crises. Takashi's legacy. Expand on Takashi's role as the community elder who uses traditional knowledge to aid the neighborhood's recovery. His subplot could include mentoring a group of disillusioned youth, showing them the value of community and tradition. This can culminate in a community-led project to rebuild a local landmark, symbolizing hope and renewal. Sakura's ethical dilemma. Sakura's journey as a journalist could delve into the moral complexities of crisis reporting. Introduce a subplot where she forms a bond with a local family and struggles between her duty to report their story and her desire to protect their privacy. Her subplot can also include the pressures from her editors to sensationalize the story to boost ratings and her fight to maintain journalistic integrity. Additional themes and elements. Technology and nature. Explore the juxtaposition of advanced Japanese earthquake technology against the raw power of nature, questioning the limits of human ingenuity. Cultural heritage. Incorporate elements of Japanese culture that highlight how traditional practices and beliefs play a role in coping with and understanding natural disasters. Global impact. Introduce international aid workers and show the global response to the disaster, bringing a more international perspective to the narrative and exploring themes of global solidarity and cooperation. Psychological impact. Detail the psychological impact on survivors, including PTSD and the community's collective trauma, exploring how different characters cope differently, including turning to art, community service, or isolation. Media influence. Analyze the influence of media on public perception and policy change following the disaster. Show how Sakura's reporting leads to tangible changes in disaster preparedness programs or influences public opinion to support more stringent safety regulations. These expanded subplots and themes can help to create a more comprehensive narrative that not only entertains but also educates and provokes thought about the complexity of natural disasters and human resilience. This outline provides a basis for a rich, multifaceted narrative that could be adapted into various formats, from a novel to a screenplay, offering deep dives into personal and collective experiences following a natural disaster. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.